All right, so this week's distance learning challenge is going to be to make a design for a grad ring. So every year, normally for grade 12s, what I do is make grad rings on the CNC mill at school. I may use the CNC mill I have at home to try and do the same thing if we can kind of come up with a design that is realistic to make. The focus on your design ideally is to make it out of round stock or round material. The reason for that is it'll be a lot faster for me to make because my CNC lathe will be able to produce much quicker. So this isn't necessarily something that's going to be um, super detailed, but just um, something that looks nice. It'll have SFX engraved in one spot and then maybe the year engraved in the other. So these keychains you guys made, I have downloaded. I am working on it. As soon as I have video ready, I'll post it and show you guys how I'm going to machine these. Anyways, so we're going to go create and new document. Call it grad ring demo. So I'm going to draw this ring from in the top view. So over in this view cube, I'm just going to click on top and then sketch and click on the top view. Now we've got that set up. I'm going to come over here. You can use the drop down. You can also use shortcut keys. If I just type in C for circle, I could snap to the middle. I know the material that I'd likely be using to start making the rings with is 1 inch in diameter. So if I tap enter or if I click once, the box comes up. I can type in 1. And if you guys want to work in millimeters, you can come up to the bar, workspace units, and then you can change from inch to millimeter. Maybe I'll do that for a little bit. We'll switch back and forth. It doesn't really matter to me too much. So if I hit C for circle again, oh, I can't do that. I have to and go edit. I have to, because I changed the units, I have to return the sketch on. So 25.4 millimeters is 1 inch. C for circle. Click. And then I'm going to type in 20 millimeters. So that's just um, a basic ring size that a grade 12 student had thought their um, finger would fit. So I may be able to shrink the outside diameter, but for now we'll just try something like that. And the sketch is turned off. So up here we got the extrude button. We're going to click. We're not going to extrude 25 millimeters though. That would be a pretty wide ring. So 12.5 millimeters is a half an inch. That's still pretty big. So maybe we'll start with an 8 millimeter wide ring. We can click OK. So rings usually have um, a fairly sharp edge on the inside, but we don't really want that if we can avoid it. We don't want anything that'll cut your hand. So what we can do is use this button called chamfer, and we're going to change the distance to 0.5. We're going to make a tiny little chamfer. Click there, and click there. And if I zoom around to the other side, I can click OK. And then now for the top, we're going to use something that looks a little nicer. We're going to use a fillet. Click, click. And it's already erroring out. It's saying that you can't make it 5 millimeters, but what if we make it 1 millimeter? So it accepts that. So let's go 2 millimeters. Now we have something that looks half decent. Super basic, clean, neat, and tidy. And then ideally, if we go back to our top view, actually, I guess we'd have to work in the back view. Now, the next challenge, this is where it gets difficult, is for my machine to engrave the ring, I have to hold it in this orientation. And then we'll have to have letters sketched inside of that center band so that we could draw SFX on one side and then flip it over and then draw 2020 on this side. And obviously, if you're a grade 11 student in this class, you could make one and design it and have it so that it says 2021. Side note, if you're a SHISM student and you want to add SHSM on the side, you could do that as well because I'll add that on for SHSM students. So give this a try, guys. I'm not going to show you how to engrave. Let's see what you can come up with. It's a super basic ring. You may have to, just as a trick, let me go back to top view. You may have to use an offset plane. Modify fillet, and I have to figure out where that is. Plane. So hopefully there's one that says at tangent because we have to put it up against the circle. Fill, boundary, plane, helix. So I don't know if it'll let me, but we have to try and click. And we may have to try that again. So we're going to go. Where's my plane button? Offset plane. It may not let us click. So let's try clicking on a flat surface right there. And then now we have, see how it offsetted out that side. And if you grab this arrow, you can drag it out. The challenge with this is we want to create an offset plane that is across the outside of the ring so that we can use that for sketches. So I may set that up as a second YouTube video because it'll take me a little bit of time to get it so that it works well. But the goal is to put SFX on one side and then 2020 on the other side. So have it a go, guys. Give it a try and send your files in. Let's see who can come up with a good ring design.